Today I want to discuss the concept of wage equality. An hour is an hour. Everybody makes the same wage when they're at work and they're doing something that provides for the collective quality of life. Their hour is just as valuable as everybody else's. And I know that this is a hard concept because we're used to people that go to school make more money, but that's not true either because athletes don't often go to school. There's athletes that go right from high school into professional sports and they make more money than anybody that went to school for 10 years doing something that, really doesn't need to be done. So how do we decide who is worth what? And why do we decide that somebody is worth more than anybody else? And it just, to me, it's a concept that, sure, it motivated us to get this far and to grow, but we've done the growing, and now it's time to move on to a new concept of wage equality so that we can stabilize the cost of goods and services and then allow automation to eliminate jobs without reducing the quality of life or putting stress on anybody. And wage equality is one of the fundamental, foundational philosophies that I have built into Unifocracy in order to build an economy that allows automation and allows us to eliminate jobs while properly accounting for the time that we spend, and then including and continuing the high quality of life and increasing the quality of life while eliminating jobs. Wage equality helps us do this. Now, I know it's hard for people to understand, but that's how we stabilize the cost of goods and services, is with wage equality. Now, if we take a couple of examples, let's take the brain surgeon and the guy that cooks French fries at McDonald's. Now, the guy that is a brain surgeon, or the person that is a brain surgeon, definitely did a lot more school. Now, do they do something that's more important than the guy that cooks the fries? No, I don't think that what they do is of any more value than the guy that's cooking fries. And I'll tell you why. Because the brain surgeon every day needs to have lunch, loves those French fries. Now, if he can't go to McDonald's and somebody cooks those French fries for him, then he's got to go cook the French fries himself. So he's got to heat up the oil and cut the potatoes and do everything that needs to be done in order to make French fries. And it's not doesn't just happen. So now he has to go spend time to make French fries so he can have his lunch. That's time that he does not get to spend being a brain surgeon. And not only that, but when he's a brain surgeon, it's just not him. He relies on a lot more people. He relies on the janitor that cleans the operating room. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't have time for that. But he needs that room to be clean. So the janitor that cleans the operating room that the brain surgeon works in is just as important as the brain surgeon, because the brain surgeon cannot do the brain surgery if the janitor did not clean the operating room. He's also reliant on the nurse that assists him, the administration people that plan and schedule the operating room, and the doctors and the anesthesiologist, which is also needed because the brain surgeon cannot do everything that's done in the operating room when he performs brain surgery. And not only that, but once we get automated, we won't need as many brain surgeons because they will be able to do the job from home on their computer, and the actual physical work will be done by a robot that is more precise and has more knowledge than the brain surgeon does. And all the brain surgeon does is make sure that the robot is doing it right. This is what's going to happen when we start to automate, and this is why we need wage equality, because everybody that supports that brain surgeon, the teachers that taught him, are just as valuable as he is in the operating room. The doctors that diagnosed the patient that brought him to the operating room for the brain surgeon to operate on are just important as the brain surgeon. Do you understand this? And of course, the wage equality makes that apparent. And it stabilizes the cost of goods and services, and it stabilizes everything. So now the brain surgeon does not have the privilege of a big house and a summer home and a garage full of cars, because houses are built by robots, cars are built by robots, and they're free. So if we all want big houses and garages full of cars, we can do that. Even the fry cook can do that because they're basically free, because we've automated the construction of those things and accounted for the fact that human beings do not actually interact with those things. And now that human beings don't interact with those, then they are free. Now, all of a sudden, we start eliminating jobs. We've made the brain surgeon a lot less valuable by putting robots in the operating rooms, and robots clean their operating rooms, and robots support the robots in the operating room. And so now, if we have a bunch of people that go to school to become brain surgeons, and we only need one brain surgeon, guess what the other ones are doing? They're going to flip fries or whatever else we need done. And it's the same thing for the fry cook. Once we eliminate his job by putting in a robot that cooks the fries for us, then the fries become free. This is the key thing that allows us to transition to a free economy, is wage equality and only accounting for human time. I'll give you another example. The master plumber. Now, this guy has been working at this for a long time. He has a vast amount of knowledge that is necessary to do the job. But in order for him to apply his vast knowledge, he needs support. He needs the people that cut the pipes and deliver the pipes so that he can install the pipes. He needs his apprentice who doesn't know as much as he is and learning as much as he can as he goes along, doing the things that the master plumber doesn't have time to do. Cutting the pipes, getting the tools, doing the stuff that doesn't need the knowledge that the plumber has, but does need to be done. And if it's not done by the apprentice plumber or somebody else, then the master plumber has to spend his time to do those things that are beneath his knowledge level. So therefore, in order for the master plumber to do what he does and make everything work on the big picture, he needs everybody that supports that. The people that deliver the pipes, the people that cut the pipes, the apprentice that does all this shit that he doesn't want to do are all as valuable as he is, because if he has to do all those other things, he doesn't get to do the master plumbing that he thinks is so valuable that he needs to get paid so much more than his apprentice. But everything needs to get done. And then all of a sudden a robot walks in and it's got more knowledge than that master plumber because it's learned from every master plumber and has all that knowledge, and it's a robot and it can do all of the jobs. And now all of a sudden the master plumber is out of work just the same as everybody that the robots are now doing. His apprentice out of work. Plumber, don't need plumbers anymore. Now robots do that. Now how valuable is your knowledge? Now you're starting over. Do you want to start over with a base wage where you make the same as you did when you were at a master plumber and now you're a nothing cook or whatever the fuck robots can't do, or we don't want robots to do because we want to do those things? This is the fundamental rant about wage equality. Now, I don't expect anybody to understand this. This is a concept that I have been working on for 30 more years to understand how it fits in to transitioning from a capitalist society to a free, moneyless society where employment becomes a privilege. The only brain surgeon that works is the best brain surgeon in the world. And everybody else can train to be a brain surgeon, and they can even practice in virtual reality being a brain surgeon, but until they get to his level, they don't get to work as a brain surgeon. That's the privilege of being a brain surgeon. And that is what wage equality leads to. We don't do things because we get paid. We do things because they need to get done, and the best of the best get to do those things. This is what I see. It is a beautiful vision of the world that this transitions us into, where most things are free, where the jobs that we do are the jobs that human beings want to do, and we can account only for human time, so that as we do less, we can make sure that everything that needs to get done for our high quality of life gets done automatically, so we don't have to work, and then we can go and join clubs and play sports and entertain and study acting and build art and do all the wonderful things that human beings are supposed to do, because we got past our egos And we realized that wage equality would stabilize the cost of goods and services and then allow us to create deflation as we eliminate jobs. It's a beautiful vision. It's the only thing that makes me excited in this world, and it's the only thing that I believe that I'm here to do, is to introduce these concepts so that we can move forward past capitalism and into our future, which, trust me, is so very, very beautiful, because we are all of the same value, whether we work or what we do when we work or when we don't even work at all and do things like play, which are just as valuable as the things that we do when we work. So look forward to a future that's full of play and less work and a higher quality of life being done by robots that don't have a problem working for nothing. Ha 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 ha! See you in that ring.